Welcome, everybody, to another edition of BadgerBlitz TV. I'm Jay Kokorowski, senior writer at BadgerBlitz.com. Of course, your home for all things Wisconsin athletics on the recruiting trail, at Camp Randall Stadium, on the court of the Kohl Center. And we're doing another recruiting spotlight this week. Early signing period's now less than 2 weeks away from the start of it. And we're having a lot of fun doing this. And we had Cade Yakameli on earlier this week. We had a Q&A with Clint Cosgrove, Rivals.com's national recruiting analyst who's in charge of the Midwest. Great conversation with him on Tuesday night as well. Today we got another commit. You got to see this going on there. You see some pancakes there from an in-house product here for Wisconsin. And looking at that too, just one more pancake block to end the play there. He is number 52 for Whitefish Bay, but we'll see what number he has going in when he gets to Wisconsin. It's Joe Brunner. Joe, thanks for making time for us tonight. Awesome, man. And it's good, thanks for making time again for us and whatnot. And just overall, I'm looking through your stats and, you claimed the Joe Thomas Award this year as the most outstanding offensive lineman in Wisconsin. You're a first-team All-State candidate. Just with your dominant, years at Whitefish Bay, just how would you describe your high school career?
It was amazing. For freshman year, I got to start, which I wasn't really expecting. And I got to play with my brother, so that was a great start to my high school career. He kind of took me under his wing, showed me what it was like. Sophomore year, each year it kept on getting better and better. So it's been awesome. And I wish I could do it all over again, but got bigger and better things.
I'll say with that too, taking a look at this, we have a slide up right now talking about just what you've accomplished. And right now you're a 4-star prospect, number 73 player overall, number 8 offensive tackle in the 2022 class, according to Rivals.com. We had you on for 16 offers from, like you said, the who's who of some big name college programs, Florida State, Iowa, LSU, Michigan, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Oregon, among others. You officially visited Wisconsin on the weekend of June 4th, and you publicly committed over 3 weeks later on the 29th of June. I guess just how, through your eyes, are you feeling just the recruiting you're committed, just everything's counting down to the early signing period. How are you feeling with your recruiting process and your recruiting journey?
The recruiting journey was special. It's something that not a lot of people get to experience. And for me, we didn't get to go out because of COVID and see all these schools, but to talk to all these coaches, it was awesome. And one thing with Wisconsin is I got a special bond with them. And they're the best coaches, I think, in the country. And it's awesome. I love Wisconsin. But the whole recruiting trail was interesting, and I loved it from the start.
Now, before we get into talking more about Wisconsin too, just even you talked about being, your four-year starter, right? But where did you feel you made a jump in your game from your junior year to your senior year?
I would say I think the biggest jump was my footwork, for sure. I've had good footwork, ever since my freshman year. But after my junior year, when I kind of realized, okay, I got to make a decision, and I got these schools coming, and I got to grow as a player. That's one of the most important parts of a lineman, is having good feet. So, I got to the field every day in the summer and worked on it.
Within that too, just, how many times, up until, you had that in-home visit, and we'll get to that, a little bit in just a couple minutes, but just how many times have you been talking to Wisconsin, in terms of weekly chats during this season? And how many games did you get up to, by the way? Because, taking a look at some of the photos that we saw of you, you were up here a few times.
I got up there every home game except for one where I had homecoming. But that was an awesome experience for sure. And
I guess within that, you have, talking about that in-house visit with Wisconsin earlier this week. For fans that don't know, and I'm even curious because I don't even know exactly, just what goes on? Who cooks? Does anybody cook? Is it more talking? Is it picture? We saw the pictures of you and the Wisconsin coaching staff, but what all happens, in an in-home visit?
Oh, we didn't cook personally, but we had some entrees out there, cheese and crackers and all that stuff. But it was a good solid talk with all three coaches for about an hour 45. Laughing, getting serious with it, but it was awesome.
When it comes to that too, like having talks, what are the talks about? Is it football? Is it, talking to a lot of recruits, it's more than that. It seems like it's more talking about life, but just what's all in that discussion, being a commit and then just talking to, someone like, I think it was Coach Christ, Paul Christ, it was Joe Rudolph, and then Chris Herring.
Those three, and we talked about everything. My senior season, I get up there, and then also my personal life, family, school, stuff like that. So it was truly special, and I appreciated that they took the time out of their day to come to my house and visit with me.
So how much notice do you have on that? Is it like a day? Is it half a day? Is it a couple, a week or two beforehand, or like how do those get planned out?
Me personally, 2 days before, but I'm pretty sure they have a whole map planned out, probably months.
Right.
Because I was talking to them and I was like, who are you going to go visit next? And they were saying, oh, next week I'm visiting blah blah blah, and then a week after that. So for me, they noticed me about 2 days before, but they know, months before they actually come.
So you talked about family in that part. Your brother Thomas transferred into Wisconsin from Northern Illinois, for this past season, and just when you sign that national letter of intent, just how special is it going to be for you to be in the same program as your brother? And you talk about playing in high school, but what is it going to mean playing on the college level?
Yeah, it's kind of, I'm speechless when I talk about it. It's not many people do this at this kind of level. My favorite year of football was my freshman year when I was with my brother. So to be able to share the field at the highest level, second highest level of the NFL, but the Big Ten, one of the best schools in the country to play football with my brother, it's pretty special. And it's football is basically our life here in the Brunner household. So to do that's pretty awesome.
Last question about the in-home visit. We'll talk about the other recruits and a couple other things. But does Paul Christ or Joe Rudolph have any great jokes or any funny jokes that y'all had a good laugh about, or how would you describe them during an in-home visit?
I would describe them as they are the most normal coaches I have met throughout my whole recruiting process, and that's why I like them so much. They're straight up with you. They treat you like you're their friend, not their player. And they're honest and they're funny. They like to laugh. They like to have fun. So it's great.
So with recruiting wise, with the class of 2022, I know in the past couple of weeks there's been a couple added to that class. How has the bond grown between you and the other commits? To this point, just about 2 weeks away from the early signing period.
Very strong bond. Guys like me, Miles, JT, we go up to every time I've been up to the game, they've been there, and to see these guys play with them, talk, have great conversations, serious conversations, funny conversations. It's been great. Every single guy in this class is a great person, a great man. So I'm looking forward to getting up there and working with them.
I say with that, are those the closest friends in that class so far, or how do you feel everybody's gelling together?
It's very close. We have a group chat that we all talk in a couple times a week. But my closest would probably be Miles. I talk to him every time I go up to Madison. I talk to him on the side. He's an awesome guy.
What do you make of his season, for that matter? Going out on top, Division I championship, being named, I think it was the AP Player of the Year for Wisconsin. That was just announced today on Thursday. Just, what do you make of him and him being your future quarterback when you guys get up to Madison?
Season was incredible. I don't think you could have a better season for a quarterback. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't fold under pressure. I wouldn't want to play for any other quarterback. He knows what he's doing every single time. He's smart. So I'm more than pumped to get with him and work with him.
You have then, with looking with it, even just going back, like, how did the relationship start with Wisconsin with you? Being an in-state recruit, I take it that maybe that started a little bit early on.
After my freshman year, I got down and I went to a camp. So that's really when it started. They invited me to the camp for first off. So I went over there. Then I talked to Joe Rudolph, and then it kind of snowballed from there. Sophomore year, they invited me to the Michigan game, which is where they offered me. And then I fell in love ever since I stepped onto the field to watch a game.
And then with, I guess, on the line, and maybe in the talk about the in-house visit or even just conversations prior, have there been further discussion just about where on the line you'll play in terms of position and where you'll begin with once you get up to Madison?
I think when I go up there, I'm probably going to be playing tackle. That's the impression that I have gotten. But there's been no talk about moving to guard or moving to center. But I think tackle's what I'm getting out of this for sure.
Now, I showed a couple of clips of you pancaking people, but how would you describe your gameplay at the high school level?
Fast. I'm vicious. I'm aggressive. I don't want to say dirty because I'm not dirty, but I'm passionate for sure. That's definitely what I would describe myself.
For that matter, I mean, you committed in June. As a recruit, do you get other schools sniffing around to check in on your status, about your commitment status? And if so, how do you handle those inquiries, being a commit?
Yeah, I haven't. But, when I committed to Wisconsin, I had to call the other schools and I had to tell them, me and my family decided to go to Wisconsin. We felt it was the best fit, and they respected the decision. They all know that it's not a true commitment until the signing day. But I haven't really talked to any other school besides Wisconsin. So,
was there any of the schools that you felt that were the toughest to call if you had better relationships compared to the others?
I'm on Ohio State. Those were very tough calls to make because I built special bonds with those coaches too. I went down there a couple times. Ohio State, I only got up there once, but I talked with them, 2 or 3 times every week. So it was tough, but they respected my decision, and they were appreciative that I called them and told them.
For that matter, just how crazy was your June? Because like I said, you talked about got to Ohio State that month. You're there at the beginning of the month at Wisconsin, and then I believe you're at Notre Dame too. How crazy of that month was once they lifted that recruiting dead period, and then you're having to essentially fit in your visits and trying to figure out your collegiate home.
It was insane. I took that Wisconsin visit the first week, then it was Ohio State, then it was Notre Dame to finish it off. But you were getting calls from those 3 schools because I only took those 3 officials, but I was getting calls from every day, checking up on me. But after I took that Wisconsin official visit, I think I knew deep down, this is the place I want to be. But I felt that I had the right to go to these other 2 schools, so I did that. And I loved those visits, but wasn't as good as Wisconsin.
And then before we get to some fun quick hitters, we are less than 2 weeks away from the early signing period starting. How do you see this Wisconsin class of 2022 finishing out?
Stronger than people expect it to be. I think we got some guys that really want to be here, but they just got to finish their part of the job. So I'm excited for sure.
And then heading into our quick hitters, we've done this with all the commits, having some fun, some little bit. I'd say we have about five questions right here. First one: how many sports have you played in high school, and how have they helped you?
3 sports, so football, track, and basketball. Basketball was tremendous for me. Footwork, up and down the court, which would build my, my speed. That was very helpful. And then track is power. So, spinning with the shot put, those two sports really helped me with football for sure.
And then holidays were just, the first part of the holidays came up this past week or a couple weeks ago, even now. Gosh, it's crazy how fast the time's flying right now. Thanksgiving, but your favorite holiday food?
Holiday food, got to be mashed potatoes and gravy for sure for Thanksgiving, definitely.
Nice. There's nothing good with you have a good set of mashed taters. It's sublime, and you just hit the right amount of butter, a little bit of gravy, it's just salt, perfect. I completely understand. For me, it's stuffing and then it's mashed potatoes, and then I have to go run for about 3 hours to work it all off. But that's a different story. When it comes to, I've asked other players this too, but when you're getting ready for a game, or you watch those players go through the Badgers, current set of Badgers go through the Camp Randall Arch, and they have those headphones in, and they're getting focused in. What music are you playing? What music, when you have that going on for high school games, what are you listening to?
Rap, some hip hop, some old school rap, some Tupac, some Biggie. That's every game for me for sure. That gets me in mode.
Favorite song from one of those from those genres?
I would say my favorite song would probably be "All Eyes on Me" for sure.
Excellent. Couple more, and then we talked about this before we started recording. But are you planning right now to enroll early at Wisconsin, or are you going to wait till the summer to get to Madison?
I'm gonna wait till the summer to get to Madison. I've thought about it long and hard. I think I want to enjoy my senior year. You only get one, so I'm going to do that, but then I'm going to get right to work after that.
And last thing, what can Wisconsin fans expect from you once you do get to UW?
Can expect a good, passionate player who will work very hard to make the program a championship program, and winning all the time.
Joe, man, we appreciate you making time for us tonight. Thanks again, and looking forward to covering you once you do get up to Madison. Coming up, gosh, just it's granted it's not even holidays yet. The full holidays aren't done yet, but looking forward to covering you once you do get up here. Later this summer, or just about 8 months from now. Folks, that is Joe Brunner. And folks, what we're going to do too, we're going to end it right there. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Badger_Blitz. Subscribe on this YouTube page. That's a big thing for us. We're having a lot of fun. Talking to Joe, talking to Cade, talking to Clint in the past week. We got Curtis Neal potentially coming up on Saturday. I talked to him and whatnot. But please subscribe to that YouTube page. Hit that like button. It's free. It's all free, and it helps us grow our brand. And then, of course, on Facebook, search Wisconsin Badgers at BadgerBlitz.com. Folks, we'll see you coming up in just a couple of days talking with another Wisconsin commit here on Badger Blitz TV.